So finally, we get some truth out of the American media. Men and women are treated differently with respect to sexual dalliances. You know, it's about fucking time. They've awakened and said, hey, wait a minute. Oh, no, this isn't fair. You see, a man can ruin his life can be ruined by an accusation. However, a congressman out of California, where both parties admit what happened, well, we just got to give her a pass. She's a woman. She's got the revenge porn and all that stuff. There's so much wrong with this fucking story. So much wrong. But they got that part right. Men and women are treated differently, Associated Press. You may have looked around for the last couple of years and saw the smoking carcasses of many, many careers totally ruined by a mere accusation. You see, when men are accused of stuff like this, the accusation is guilt. When a woman with proof that it actually happened, well, it's the patriarchy, it's the rape culture, it's all this other, she's a woman, she's a victim. Nobody wants to talk about the victim of this throuple, who has even said, I felt intimidated, there's text messages and all kinds of bullshit. That's not my point. The Associated Press trying to spin this as Representative Katie Hill is a victim. Well, in some way she is, right? The revenge porn, which, by the way, I think it was one of the more famous Supreme Court justices. How do you define porn? Well, I can't really define it, but I know it when I see it. I've looked at these pictures that were leaked allegedly by her husband. There's no porn in that. At the worst, there's a boob. Maybe there's the iron cross on her crotch or hoo-ha, whatever. And there's her kissing some chick and brushing her hair naked. If you ever invite this woman over to your house for Thanksgiving, do like my grandmother did. Put plastic on the chairs. Because you don't need that, right? It's probably hard to get out. But they're trying to spin it as if men get an easier break when accused of such things, and women, well, obviously oppressed. You see, this whole thing comes down to, and I've said it a million times, women cannot be held responsible for anything. Even a topless picture smoking a bong. Well, that's just her sowing her wild oats. That's nothing. But the serious part of this, they're trying to spin this as that, well, it was the pictures that did. No, Representative Hill. You were fucking one of your employees in any corporation, any business of any significance, size, more than a mom and pop shop. You would be fired for sexual harassment, intimidating work environment, stuff like that. Congress passed a law a year ago. Thou shalt not fuck your employee. Oh, I'm so glad Congress woke up. It only took how many freaking decades before that was a policy? But they're trying to spin this as, well, it was a consensual affair. Ms. Hill, I'm certain Matt Lauer thought his affairs were consensual as well. Aziz Ansari, I'm certain. I don't know how he got the idea, after 2 or 3 blowjobs and various other things that maybe she wanted to fuck. I don't know how, I don't know how, but it's MeToo because he's a man. Brett Kavanaugh in high school. Did you know he liked to drink beer? His career was almost ruined by an accusation. So in a way, Associated Press, you're absolutely right. Harvey Weinstein, I hate to even bring up this nasty pig, but Harvey Weinstein has not been convicted of anything. Charlie Rose liked to run around in his underwear. What about Louis C.K., who asked permission to blast his load into a plant or whatever the fuck? Well, of course they should lose their careers. You see, because men and women are treated differently and women are on the shitty end of the stick, all we've got to do is change Katie's name to Christopher. How long do you think Christopher would remain in his position? After all, Ms. Hill, it just takes an accusation to get rid of a man. Have you heard of Title IX? Have you heard of the rare but a handful of cases where the man was actually the victim of a sexual assault because he was too drunk to consent? And yet the college kicked him out anyway. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Have you heard of all the school teachers as of late, it seems, who are literally fucking their students? Position of power, you understand the power differential, they get a slap on the wrist. It's extremely rare when one of these horny sluts gets jail time. It happens, but there's a lot of them where it's like, yeah, come on. He probably liked it. So they keep bringing up consensual. That doesn't matter. Hundreds of men who were brought down by MeToo also believed it was consensual, Katie. And I bet you were out protesting in front of the Supreme Court, weren't you? Weren't you? Duncan Hunter, accused of some sexual impropriety. Accused. You have admitted it. And so has the victim. I think that pretty much sums the case up. You fucked up. It remains to be seen if Duncan Hunter fucked up. We'll find out. That's our legal system. But this story, trying to spin her as the victim. Women and men are treated differently. Of course, they mean women are expected to resign, but men do not. Perhaps that's the case in some case. I don't know. But the point is, if you're intimidating your employees and expecting them to fuck you to keep their job, that's about as bad as it gets. And guess what? You've admitted it. This has nothing to do with pictures, her being a lesbian, none of this bullshit. She was in a position of power. End of fucking story. Go home and play with your goats. And oh, by the way, here's a pro tip for you and other ladies out there. If you don't want your nudies to show up on the internet, don't fucking take them. Link below. James Maxwell, thank you for listening.